Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Joanna, the Executive Director for the U.S. Coalition on Sustainability. And today we're going to talk to you about SustainChain, which is our free public utility technology platform. Before I do that, I want to quickly introduce Kent, or Kent, maybe I'll just let you introduce yourself, because we're both going to kind of be tag teaming this a little bit today.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Joanna. So my name is Kent. I am actually dialing in from Brazil today, and I've been working as product designer on SustainChain, working with Joanna and the team over the last year or so to help define the project that Joanna will walk us through. And yeah, just super excited to have everyone here. It's been an amazing journey, and can't wait to share what we've been up to, and hopefully get all of your thoughts and insights and help in building this and taking it to the next level. So excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, Kent. So I guess before I dive in, I'm going to share a little bit of just context and background for everyone. What is the U.S. Coalition on Sustainability? What is SustainChain? Kind of what are we up to? It's kind of nice that this is a small, intimate event, so please interrupt me, ask questions. But I will say we're hoping to make this a little bit of a work session and really, sort of open up the dialogue a little bit around positive pressure, which I'll get to in a moment. So let me start with the coalition. So the U.S. Coalition on Sustainability is a designated nonprofit. We were formed about 2.5 years ago at the behest of Amina Mohammed. Amina is the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, and she is the woman who is best known for being the architect of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. I'm sure, given the world that you guys are in and where you spend your time, you're mostly familiar with the SDGs. If not, the SDGs are the 17 global goals that 193 countries, led by the UN, have come together to commit to these goals that essentially, help all of humanity. So if we achieve them, which we will suspend disbelief for a moment, if we achieve them, I think we all live in utopia. But the goal, really is, and particularly given the way of the world with climate and so forth, there is an aggressive agenda to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. So this decade is deemed the decade of action, if you've heard that. So Amina actually tapped my partner, Jackie Corbelli, on the shoulder about 2 years ago and said, hey, we're in this moment in time where there's lots of awareness around the Sustainable Development Goals. There are tremendous commitments being made by businesses and brands and private sector. And there is a lot of intention, frankly, It's not just commitments. People want, for the most part, want to take action and drive change. But we're just not moving fast enough, And I think we can all agree that we're simply not moving fast enough right now. And so she tapped Jackie to start the coalition and do everything she could to try to accelerate the pace of change in achieving the SDGs. I then joined, and we've been at this for about a little bit over 1.5 years. And what that means is the way in which we try to achieve the SDGs is by building a free public utility platform called SustainChain that is designed to connect players, solutions, and actions across the entire SDG sustainability ecosystem. So think of it as a LinkedIn meets a meetup, But for sustainability. And I think maybe the easiest thing for me to do is I'm actually just going to show you the video and sort of give you a tangible taste of what SustainChain is. But know that it's been built in very close partnership with the United Nations. It is sort of purpose built, to enable and support action. Specifically within, institutions, private sector, business community. And we launched about a little bit less than a year ago. We're already at about 1,000 members of the community. And we are rapidly scaling and refining the platform itself in terms of sort of feature functionality and supporting of the community.
Today, thousands of innovators, impact investors, brands, and NGOs are working to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. But we need to go faster. And now we can with SustainChain, the world's first Sustainable Development Goals accelerator. Powered by a partnership between the US Coalition on Sustainability and ThoughtWorks, SustainChain is a platform that uses the best of digital technology and machine learning to unite the players, actions, and funding needed to rapidly rebuild supply chains and meet the SDGs. Here's how. After setting up your profile and sharing the sustainability challenges you're most focused on, SustainChain becomes an engine for fueling faster, more concerted action and enabling new connections and partnership opportunities. Each time you come back to SustainChain, you'll see a live and dynamic feed of opportunities to explore, relevant projects to join, discover new partners, and find new solutions to explore. You can learn more about members and companies within and across industries who share your SDG focus. You can also create and share a new action initiative to tackle an unaddressed gap and tap into the community to find what you need to succeed. Funding, innovations, experts, all with a touch of a finger. SustainChain dynamically notifies you of new connection requests, projects, and opportunities to join. The chain is expanding rapidly with new partners across industries, stakeholders, and SDGs, all contributing to the collective intelligence that grows exponentially as the community does. And now we as citizens can join the chain too. With SustainChain, citizens can connect directly with their favorite brands and encourage them to take action on the issues that matter most to them, and urge their local representatives in Congress to do the same. As our community grows, so will our ability to accelerate action and progress toward the Sustainable Development Goals. It's time to join the chain to build a sustainable future together.
So hopefully that gives a little taste of SustainChain. We just launched V2, and actually we're launching at the UN General Assembly on Thursday. After this, I'll drop a link if anyone wants to join or share it through social media. But hopefully you can see that SustainChain is designed to be like a free public utility platform, right? There are so many, organizations and nonprofits and communities doing incredible work, but essentially everyone is still operating in their own little silos, right? And there is no central unifying platform, not to do the work, right? The work has to happen in rooms and in workshops and in sessions and through discussion and debate and so forth, but just to know who's working on what in the areas that I care about, who else is tackling the same problem, or, right, are there already solutions that exist to my particular challenge? There is no trusted central database for this. So that is what SustainChain is designed to do. The reason that we're so excited to talk to ClimateAction.tech and this community in particular is because without citizen pressure, right, without consumer and citizen and employee pressure getting involved, we will never move fast enough. I've been in tech for a while, so we approached this very agile, human-centered design, right? We built a prototype, we took it to market, we talked with a bunch of different folks. I talked to brands, I talked to impact investors, nonprofits, you name it. And there was this resounding, hey, what would it take, right? Great, let's say you have this resource and you can find existing solutions and find other players and projects, cool. What's it really gonna take for you to move faster? And brands, right, said they, and whether I'm supposed to be sharing this or not, right, I won't mention any specific brand names, right, but leaders in sustainability said, listen, I'm a small team. Yeah, I know what my CMO said in terms of the commitments that we're making, right, but I'm a super small team. There's only so much I can actually accomplish and achieve. But what would make a difference is if I start getting emails, if I start getting 30 consumers, 40 consumers, right, telling me what they expect of my brand and they expect us to do, that always goes to the top of the list in terms of prioritization. So we all know, right, policy is critical, right? We need that pressure, but the consumer, citizen, employer pressure is what is absolutely fundamental to moving and making accelerated progress. So today, I'm going to shift it over to Kent here in a minute, but we've always designed SustainChain as sort of the business, right, the sort of private sector platform. But we've built a separate sort of experience that is complementary, that's called CitizenChain. And CitizenChain is where employees can put pressure on their employers, where the average consumer, right, can put more positive pressure on the brands that they buy from, and where the average consumer, right, can hold big corporations accountable for the commitments that they make. And so obviously we need first, we're much more focused on SustainChain and growing that community, right? And from both a tech and just partnership and expansion perspective, that's like 98% of our focus right now. But we're sort of in stealth mode, building out, right, CitizenChain and building out the strategy, an informed strategy in terms of what does positive pressure look like coming from employees, coming from citizens and consumers? What does that look like? And both myself and Kent and the entire ThoughtWorks team, right, we're approaching this from a very sort of modern, right, human-centered, right? We're not going to design this thing in a vacuum. We're actually pulling together, sort of activists, right, founders who are the ones that are saying, I want to do this. I do want to put positive pressure. I don't know how to currently do it, right? Or I am currently doing it. Here's how I am doing it. Here's how I think I could get other folks that also care, right, to do this at scale. So today's a little bit more about just opening up the dialogue. And I think, Heather and Matthew and I and many others, we've been having such great conversations around, hey, the mission of the ClimateAction.tech community is exactly that, right? Leverage your voice, leverage your energy to create positive pressure, right, on your employers, right, or on your communities more broadly, and use that influence in a positive way. So, once we learned that, instead of sort of designing in a vacuum, we really want to just kind of open up the dialogue around what does positive pressure look like, to you guys and to this community and to you sort of individually.